Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, Large Format Leo. Today I thought we'd go through all the equipment I use in a studio. Later on I'll make one for the travel bag and just what I do in one of those so I get my recordings. But this one will go through everything I use in the studio to from lighting, tripods, to what I use to even record my studio sessions. So yeah, see you guys. Alrighty, let's start off with the large format bag, the coup de grace. So starting off, I have this strap from Waterfield Designs in San Francisco, and I've gotten 2-3 of these now. I'll show you on the tripod later. I have one as well, and this thing is a lifesaver for your back and spine. The comfort on this, the elasticity on it saves you so much pressure, and I couldn't swear by it more. I'll leave a link for it in the description along with all other things that are still available. So this is the Zone V6 bag. I was lucky enough to have someone gift me theirs because it was just sitting in a closet. My other one, the older one, was getting ripped apart basically right here on the sides. This was getting torn because it's been like 50 years or, you know, exaggerating, but it was a really old bag. So once we open this bag, immediately we have my dark cloth here. This is a Zone 6 dark cloth as well, white on the outside. Really keeps light out. It's really heavy, not heavy, but it is heavy, made for heavy winds. So I'll get a lighter one probably, just for travel. I was eyeing the Wanderer Ultralight, and here we are, the Zone V6 field camera. You can see it's the new Fane one. For people who do know about the Zone cameras, they went through quite a few iterations. From the beginning towards the end, I believe the first ones were Tashera clones, essentially just the same things, and then eventually Fred Picker and I forget his name, they started working on these and improving them, and I think this is the last one before Fred Picker leaves, but for those who do know the dates better in the iterations, I used to know exactly which one, but it slips my mind. So yeah, with the 4x5, and then we have about 6 film holders, all labeled. They're all Fidelities. They haven't done me wrong. Some of them do get sticky. That's just because some stuff got in one of them. I think it was the 4A. And then we have here in the top slot, this is where I can mainly contain most of the junk and accessories and things like that. This, I have 2 lenses here, 3rd lens here. I'll show you that right now. In the middle, obviously that. So first off, I have the light meter, trusty old light meter, as all should. This is a, oh, sorry, let's get that. There we go. SBC Luna Pro. This is a lens cleaner, just a nice compact one. You can see here, it's an older one, but it's trusty, that's for sure. It hasn't done me wrong. You can see, pretty good work. And then it has a slide up here so that you can have an attachment. And this is this attachment. It's like an whatchamacallit, oscilloscope, or I forget the term. But essentially it's made up of a bunch of microfibers that transfer the light through here, as you can see. This, you could see the bend in there. So what you do is you stick it against the ground glass here like this, and it works as a spot meter. You connect it to the top of this like so. I'll pop that on, but I don't want to take this part off. But Yeah, you pop it on like so, and then you take a reading like that, and it essentially gives you TTL, which is through the lens light metering. And I don't use it in the studio, but I do use it for field more. And it's pretty awesome to just get the exact zone measurements that you really want. So going in, I do have the instructions for it just because I like to be prepared. Then we have a loop. Sorry, just getting comfortable. Then we have a loop. I forget what zoom it is, but it's pretty good. I mean, it works perfect. It hasn't given me any issues. Come on, focus. Oh, I had it for a second. It's a Nikon. I'm just trying to get to show. There you go. It is a Nikon loop. So inside I have the tripod mount, and I'll show you that with the tripod in the sec later on. So I have these two plungers here, the smaller one, and then the larger one, just cause. Then go through this after. Then I have this. This is just a device to hold in case of impromptu place or, whatever comes to mind. You put the camera up here and put this, or it works for so many things. It really is, possibilities are endless with this one. You almost had it there. There we go. So yeah. This is this is a shutter mount, to help mount the lens onto the board. So you can use this to tighten it, to take them off, whatever you may need. It is really helpful. It has different dimensions, as you can see. Let me try to get that better. For your different shutter and board needs. And you can see it has the shutter right there, labeled. And then I have, this is a shoelace, but I use this in the studio actually to hold the plane of focus and the level so that the model has a better idea as to where it is. So I'll pull this out and just give one end to the model, and I have the other end in front of the lens, just so that they can understand where the plane of focus is at. So, because nobody's gonna know except for me behind the lens while I'm doing it. So it's essentially like the tool they used to use back in the day to keep people from moving and holding them in place. The daguerreotype. I forget what it's called specifically, but yeah. So that is everything accessory wise. This I will get into with the lenses right now. So yeah. So now another accessory I wanted to go over was the Cinar Vario, whatever you want to call it. Even though you pronounce Cinar right, you could call it Cinar or Cinar Loa. So yeah, this allows me to shoot. Let me go a little closer. Any format, essentially, from 6 by 4.5 to 6 by 12, and this is my favorite accessory, definitely out of all of them. It just is very reliable, light proof. Like, I've had no problems with this, and it's been really helpful and accompanying me in all things. Let me open it up and show you how that looks. So here, just open the top, pull out the cartridge. Here in the cartridge, this is where you put the receiver and then the film you want to shoot on the inside here, and then you feed it through the inside of this, through the roller, right there, the film, and that just locks it in place and also protects protects it from the light. And yeah, could not ask for more from this thing. It has been a beauty. I picked this one up aftermarket. I think around 400, something like that. Yeah. And then another accessory, I want to go over that. This one does go in the bag. This one obviously goes in its own separate bag or container. An Apple AirTag. I keep this in the bag. This is just for peace of mind and just extra security in case it gets lost, stolen, whatever it may be, you know. I like having this as well. Just nice tucked away in a little hidden underside under the lenses. So yeah. Alright, so now we can go over lenses. So getting into lenses, I won't go into all my lenses because some of them are used for the field, like this one, the Nikon 65. That one only sees field use, but I just want to mention it because I do like to use this for 6x12 when I do. Oops, sorry, getting that nasty reflection. I do like using this for the 6x12 because they just work together so perfect. And yeah. So let's go over these lenses that really only get used in the studio. Not really only get used in the studio. They also get used in the field and wherever else they may be needed. This one doesn't get as much studio use or time. This is the Schneider 210. I have just the 85B filter on that for protection. This one I do use for other lenses for when they are in the studio because I do that tungsten lighting. So if I need to cool it, this is what comes into play. And then let me just open this real quick. So this is a Schneider 210. And it opens up to 5.6. So it's a really good lens. I think it's fine for really anything you use. I know this it's on a Zone V6 board for the Zone V6 camera. This V6, Zone 6, sorry, camera and lens board. This came default, essentially, and it's a really great beginner lens and like covers a decent focal. So I think it works well for just that perfect in between 135 and 300. I think it's really nice. But yeah, I don't really use that one too much because I get everything across the board with the Zeiss 135 and the Kodak 12-inch Insta-Stamatic. And we'll go into each of these separately, starting off with the Zeiss Planar 135 f3.5. So this is in a Stone Photo Gear lens wrap. I'm sure you've heard other large format enthusiasts mention this company. I'll leave a link down below, but really great lens wrap. It has done me no wrong ever. Worked really well for everything I've needed. So yeah, and then inside we have the lens. So I took that off a little bit earlier for this. So yeah, here we are. And this is just, it's like my children with these lenses, like the Zeiss and the Kodak. It's hard to pick between because I love these both so much for their own specific reasons. This opens up so wide, but you know, not even using that, it's just the sharpest and the cleanest lens I've ever seen. Like in the images, it just takes my breath away every time I use this and look through the ground glass with this thing. I love I don't even have to take a picture. I could just look through this lens all day. It is so nice. It's in a compound 3 shutter, I believe, Comport 1 shutter, sorry, and it is phenomenal. And so if you don't know about the Zeiss Planar 135s, they are quite pricey. They are quite unique, and they have some more. I would say they have more collector's value than anything. I wouldn't recommend just picking up this lens if you're starting off, or even looking to be economical with your lens choices, because there is an equivalent. I think it's the Schneider 135, or I'll correct me if I'm wrong. There is an equivalent that people hold to the same level for a fraction of the price that this one costs. So if you're looking to save, there are better ways than to get that lens. So that one I usually use for, full body or half upper body portraits. And then here we'll get into the Kodak 12-inch anti-stigmatic. So this has its own carrying case because this is a big boy. We'll pull out the other lens so we can compare. Sorry, just getting that ready. It is in a film carrying bag. This you could get off Amazon, but I'll link their website. I'm pretty sure I got it off their website. And it's meant for film holders. It can hold 3 to 4. I think 3 comfortably, 4 if you're really trying to get space in. And it has a nice little space here. I just put level, pen and paper, and then also a mask for the 6x12 Cinar Vario film back. So I have a little mask on the ground glass for that as well, which is helpful. Let me just show you that real quick before. There we are. Yeah. It's very nice, very simple, nothing crazy, nothing extravagant, but efficient nonetheless. So getting into the bag, here I have it inside a Xbox 360 case because I love the extra protection. And this is the Kodak 12-inch anti-stigmatic f4.5, and it is equivalent to a 300mm lens. If you're wondering what that 12-inch translates into. We'll open this up, and here we are. And it is in a compound 5 shutter. These compound shutters are a lot older, made in their, I want to say around 1913, 1930s, around there, between there or around there. And they're very rare, not rare, but hard to come by and difficult to work on. Only a few people still work on these shutters. So I got one shutter that the aperture would open up all the way, but the shutter and spring did not work at all. So none of the speeds would work. And then I had another one that the shutter would work, but it would not have any aperture. So I took those apart and combine them both to create this beauty of a compound shutter. There's only a little gap, but you can't see the difference. There is a plate that I have that lets me see the aperture that came off of one of them. Here you could see this is to open and close it like so. And it closes all the way to f45, and it opens all the way, claimed to f4.5, but with a compound 5 shutter, it actually opens up all the way to 4, which is just phenomenal for headshots. This is my bread and butter for headshots and close-ups. This 12-inch 300 equivalent. The Kodak, we're killing it at this point with this lens. I can't say high enough things. I'll put some information about the lens down below as well, so you can read up. They have a little pamphlet. This was made exclusively for large format portraits with 4x5 and 8x10. And yeah, if you have the chance to pick this up, I would highly recommend you do so. Let me show you how that shutter works. So putting it into the active mode. It's piston based. Oops, sorry. It is a piston based system. So what that means is when you set it to the speed, you want to give it a time because it's just working with the air inside that builds and releases. 1 out of 50 is no problem. It is the fastest speed it can only go to is 1/50th. And then you can all the way drop down to 1 second, of course. And you want to give that a second for that air and pressure to build up. And then there you are. So yeah, and you want to be careful with these because they're just extremely sensitive. Here's the plunger mount, shutter mount, sorry. And yeah, cannot speak highly enough of this lens. So with this as well, it's actually too large for the Linoff style boards that I use that go on the Zone 6. So in order to deal with that, I had a friend 3D print me a adapter, which also gives me a little extra length, which is nice since 300mm is the max on that Zone 6 field camera. Here you can see mounted the flange, and we just bolted it down behind here. Oh, sorry, it's getting a little hazy there. And there you can see a better view of it. So just a nice adapter since it is quite the big boy. And it just mounts like that, essentially. Tightening it up, of course. But yeah, that is the lenses I use. This one is primarily for headshots, close-ups. This one doesn't get much field because it is extremely large. Let me show you a size comparison real quick to the Zeiss 135. As you can see, it is quite the big boy. That's not even with the lens board on either. If putting the lens board on underneath it, let's see. So yeah, as you can see, it's about double the size, and I would say double the weight as well. This is close to a pound, pound and a half, and this would be probably 3 to 4 pounds easily, if not, yeah, 3 to 4 pounds easily. So yeah, definitely not a travel lens, but a good lens nonetheless. So yeah, these are my two babies. Zeiss Planar 135, f3.5, and the Kodak 12-inch 300mm equivalent anti-stigmatic f4.5, f4 with that compound 5 shutter, I do believe. So yeah, now getting out of lenses, we will go into studio lighting and equipment. So yeah. Okay, so coming back, we have the Zone 6 tripod here. As you can see, it's pretty large. It's pretty heavy. I'd say it's probably around like 10 pounds or something like that. It's just made out of wood and metal, essentially. Nothing too, well, I guess everything really solid. Really nice, extremely durable for windy days, doesn't move. You know, I could not give higher marks to this tripod. It's really good for the studio because it just is durable and it stays in place. All the movements are pretty solid. You use these to loosen it up and this to tighten it. The head on it is a, let me zoom in for you, is a Bogan 3-geared head. It's really nice because there's bubblers on one side of it. There you go. Looks like right here you can see. So it really helps keep everything just lined up and where I want it. And then have attached, as you can see through the string here, onto some metal here. Let me zoom it out. Another one of the Waterfield straps that I cannot highly recommend more. The other one is black, this one's in brown. Just love this, of course. And then some minor modifications that I did to it are these loops in the inside of it. Let me open it a little so you can see better. 1 second, sorry about that. So these loops I did inside here, I bolted them onto the wood right there, and then I ran a strong paracord off of that. And that just helps wherever placement I put it, it basically won't go past that. It's really durable. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's just going right there right now. 1 sec. It's because I didn't have it locked in place. Sorry. So yeah, that's really nice. And then let me go to the lower half so you can see what I have going on here. So the lower half is more like stakes. Like a surveyor's tripod, I'd say is closer to what this tripod is. Sorry. Yeah, so it has stakes at the bottom, which for outside is really great because you can dig it into the ground. But for the studio, I have these crutch feet that I got off Amazon, which are just all rubber, and they work perfect for getting that grip you need. And they just slide on easily, just like this. And then to keep the legs closed, I have a belt bolted onto the wood here that, you know, you just wrap around the feet. Sorry. You just wrap around the feet like so. And it should be good to go. And ta-da. It's that simple. Oh, and one last thing I forgot to mention about the Zone tripod is it also has this bubbler here, so you know when you're nice and lined up. So yeah. Okay, and the next tripod I have is this one here, Matthew's junior stand. This goes for the light here. It's nothing crazy. It is all steel. It's very durable. You know, no messing around. It's junior, but you can also use it as a baby if you need to. You could just put a head in there. And so yeah. And it just opens up like normal. Nothing too crazy. Okay, so the next tripod is just the Manfrotto, or Lasta Light, is now Manfrotto. There you go. You can see actually by Manfrotto here. Probably can't read it, but this is a magnetic tripod. It's magnetic at the top here. And your backdrops just attach onto it because they have some metal lining in them. Sorry. Yep, so they just attach right on there like nothing. Clip. It's really nice and simple. I really appreciate it. So yeah, we'll go into, this is the backdrop. This one's just black and gray, if I remember correctly. There's the zipper for this thing. Yeah, this one's just black and gray. And I have a couple of these. I always stock up on more of these too because it's nice. Sorry about that. So, and this is the other one. You can see this one for the backdrop. And this one is probably my favorite backdrop of them all. Just the color, the fall off on it is so nice. So you probably could see in a couple of my headshots, but it's the pewter and I think it's I forget what the other one is. It's pewter and something else, but yeah. Pewter is the gray, and then the brown on the other side. So yeah, those go with the magnetic tripod, and then I have this for a reflector and diffuser. It's just a Westcott 6-in-1 32-inch. Nothing too crazy, you know. It works perfect. I really like the diffuser. I put that one over the lights that I use, and I'll show you the lights now. Final piece. So this first light is my biggest light and my favorite light, but it is a chonker. And so you probably can't even see here. Let me zoom out for you. There you go. And let me just slide it up a little. There you are. So this is a Mole Richardson 2K. So for large format, you need a lot of light. You know, working at slow speeds like the one headshot, I can only go up to 1/50th. Sorry about that. So yeah, I can only go up to 1/50th the fastest, and then, you know, if I'm shooting at f4, if I really want shot depth of field, I need a lot of light. And the Mole Richardson 2K is exactly what gets me there. And I love the tungsten lighting too. I'm just a fan of tungsten lighting way more than other lighting. I think it's more closer to the natural sunlight, and it just brings the beauty out of everybody, you know? So yeah. And then I'll put the Mole Richardson right here so you can get a nice size comparison of the other lights I use. So this is just a 1K. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, on the right you can see it's just a nice 1K tungsten light. Gets the job done. I use these as either backlighting, hair lighting. It's nice since they're 1K compared to the big old 2K that I instantly get to see, or not instantly, but oh, sorry, that's loud. But I know for a fact that I'm instantly getting half of that light, and I can measure it accordingly. And one thing I really prefer is the continuous light versus just flash for large format. I really appreciate being able to see what I'm doing in the moment. And this is just another 1K cool head that I have. I have a couple more, but there's no point in showing. This is pretty much the two different versions of the 1Ks that I use. And let me show you what it looks like on the inside. So you have these are just barn doors, which come right off. And then you have the inside here. Slide this open, and there you have, I would have a bulb in there. I think this one's a non-working one, but I have another, and this one is working. But put the bulb in here, and you can see it just reflects, and it works accordingly with spot and flood by pushing this forward and back, how you move it, how you don't. So yeah. And I could show you that working one right now, just so you have a better visual. And the 2K would operate in the same exact way, it's just a larger light, of course. So, yeah. So if I ever am traveling and have to do work while traveling there, This one opens from the top. I'd probably only take 1Ks or get some lights there, but also I'm not afraid of using flash when I need to. Sorry, loosen this. But if I have a preference, it's going to always be tungsten lighting and Mole Richardson's, RE, that type of natural. And also because you need so much power for large format, it's really important to get, 1K, 2K and higher. Anything lower, for continuous lighting, you're just not going to be able to see it in the film, period. So yeah, you can see here the mechanism that moves it farther and closer, just spotting and flood lighting. And that always helps because it just gives extra layers to the light that you're using because it's already continuous. So you may feel like you don't have that much control, especially over the power since it's already 1K, 2K, you don't really get to choose. But with spotting, flooding, and pulling it further and closer, you're able to have plenty of control of the lighting with these. So yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, actually, there's one more thing. And the final thing that I use to record is a Canon 70D. I have two of these. I'm fortunate enough to have another one fall on my lap. But yeah, I essentially just use a normal 18 to 55 lens. That's what this is being filmed on. This exact same camera. I've had no problems with the Canon 7D. It's competed with modern day cameras that are still being released today. I think it's a perfectly fine camera. And I just have extra lenses, accessories, batteries, whatever I may need just for recording. So yeah, that is everything that I use for large format studio lighting inside. And next week or soon I'll make a video about what I put in a travel bag when I'm going on location to film something. So yeah, thank you guys. Until next time. Later.